Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Leah Martino, and I'm the Assistant Programming Manager for the Poetry Matters Project. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Carol Anthony, radio show host of WRUU 107.5 Savannah, and part of the Rocking Chairs Rhythm Review. WRUU is a volunteer-run radio station that's mission is to highlight local organizations that would not be broadcast on commercial radio. Rocking Chair Rhythm Review is a music and comedy duo that combines both swing band, jazz, and rock. To celebrate Poetry Month, the Poetry Matters Project will be having a 2-day radio program with Miss Anthony on WRUU this April about the connection between music and poetry. The program will also feature open mic readings from local poets in Georgia and the American South. Make sure to tune in on April 5th and 19th to hear the amazing poets and discussions between Carol and our founder, Lucinda Clark. So today, I just have a couple of questions to introduce yourself and your work to our community, if that's okay. So just to begin, how did you begin both your career in radio and music?
Okay, so Leah, I have to say there's kind of a cliche or an adage that goes, if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up somewhere else. And that's kind of the story of my life. I did not start my career in radio. I've been in radio for about 3 years. I didn't really find it until I moved to Savannah from New York. My husband and I are part of this 2-person band called the Rocking Chairs Rhythm Review, and we're all about playing the music of the jump blues musicians, which is kind of between the swing band and the rock and roll era. And we wanted to celebrate that music and kind of keep it alive. So we played in, coffee houses and galleries and schools, and we did our little educational seminars along with, playing music of those composers. So we were about jump blues from the beginning. And then we started exploring other genre and becoming more interested in more contemporary alternative art rock, mixing media, including poetry and theatrical elements. And we did a lot of that stuff in New York too. And then I produced a lot of other people's work. So I've kind of been my career has been kind of a hodgepodge of a lot of different things. All very grassroots, but, really exciting people, very talented people along the way. So, but we didn't really start getting into radio until we moved to Savannah. And WRUU is this wonderful radio station. It's community radio, not college radio, which means, of course, it's non-commercial. Mm-hmm. And we discovered some programming that we hadn't heard before, even in New York. It's very different and really very illuminating and kind of inspiring. So without really understanding the technology of radio, we kind of dived in and we contacted WRUU and said, hey, could we do a rock and roll show? Emphasizing, early rock and roll and kind of exploring form and analysis and styles of different songwriter composers. So it's a very theme-based show, without getting too technical, but it's called the Rock and Roll Cookbook. So the Rocking Chairs Rhythm Review is our little band, and then it kind of evolved into this radio show called the Rock and Roll Cookbook, exploring different styles of music. So I ran across Lucinda's Poetry Matters Project page, and I started just kind of poking around, listening to some of the stuff that they had. And I'm not exactly sure how it evolved from there, but I know that I reached out to her about the Small Works Festival, which we presented earlier, which is small works meaning under 5 minutes, any genre, not just music. And she submitted a piece from a project that she was working on. And I thought, oh, wow, this would be really cool to explore more about how poetry is related to music and how poetry informs different creative styles and genre. So I proposed this collaboration. So that's really, my whole life has been about collaborating with other organizations and other people, because, that's how you learn and that's how you discover amazing things that you wouldn't discover before. So, so that's how that started.